Think we are live. Greetings, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to Friday Live, aka the New Moon Party. Woot woot! We are having a party because we have a new moon, and not just a new moon, a solar eclipse, which will be early tomorrow morning here in North America. I think it apex is around 3:50 a.m. Mountain Time, 5:50 a.m. Eastern Time. So I want to come online and say, what's up? We have some crazy energy going on. It's been very intense. I cannot honestly remember. This is what's interesting. We're in a very strange astrological time. Look at any of my contemporary astrologers. They're all saying the same thing. We all haven't seen this sort of thing in our lifetime. And I do think it has really specific reasons because we're being set up for the story we were born to live, the reason why we incarnated, the whole big event of our lifetime, I think, is right around the corner. So the energy has been ridiculously sluggish. We have 6 planets retrograde. I myself have done nothing but sleep, like tons of sleeping. My skin looks fantastic, but I haven't got much done. We have Mars retrograde, we have Mercury retrograde, and we're in the sun in Leo. And Leo is the heart. Now, in my experience, in the big picture, we're going to talk today with Julie Day, my friend from Practical Mystics, and discuss, the solar eclipse and what we've been going through. But I also want to talk about some of the other phenomenons going on right now before I bring in Julie. And also, this came as guidance here in the last week as well. In fact, I'm going to roll back just a little bit for my Namaste Today clubbers. Hello, my clubbers. This week, I had posted an article about Alex Jones having been not thrown off Twitter because I thought that was a good thing, that we weren't throwing people off for what they were saying. And it brought up a lot of hurt feelings in Namaste Today. A lot of people took that very personally because they took Alex Jones very personally. And first of all, I want to tell everyone, not my intention at all. Right now, I'm kind of a hawk on the lookout for our civil liberties. I'm concerned about our civil liberties. Part of the reason is because we're in the exact same place we were before World War II and fascism and Nazism and Hitler. And I'm just, as a concerned citizen, don't want to see any of our civil liberties go down under the gauze of one bad actor. I don't agree with Alex Jones and the way he goes about things whatsoever. As you know, it's not my approach whatsoever. But I was concerned about holding free speech. Now, a lot of people got really personally hurt about this. And this got me to thinking kind of about what's going on. First of all, the sun's in Leo, so it's the heart. This is the season where we tend to take things to the heart. That's just what Leo's about. It's about taking things to the heart. It's about seeing what our heart's opinion is. It's about realigning our life with what our heart's mission is and what our heart wants to do. Because the heart is the center of our soul. So our heart comes out right now. But I've noticed, on the internet in the last couple of years, particularly on Facebook, a lot of bleeding hearts. A lot of bleeding hearts. A lot of people suffering. A lot of people hurting. A lot of people feeling hurt by what this person said and feeling hurt by what that person said and angry about what this person said. And it got me to thinking about the retrogrades we have going on right now. Mercury is retrograde in Leo, first of all. So our mind is rethinking about our heart, our approach to our heart, how we respond to our heart, how we talk about our heart, how we defend our heart, that sort of thing. And Mars is in Aquarius retrograde at 0 degrees now. So you're going to see the aggression really fall on the planet for the next 4 or 5 days because Mars and Black Lilith are actually at step 0. But this makes me realize, as we move into this future, this story we were born to live, I believe we're going to be up against some really intense times where everyone's character will be tested to the core. And this is not to propagate fear. On the contrary, this is to propagate love. And to let people know what our intentions are going forward and what your options are. As we go through this cloud, I think just like World War II, there will be a lot of fake news. There will be a lot of mean things said. There will be a lot of strategic targeting towards different groups to get them upset and to get them worried. These are all the old games of manipulation, folks, the same games they used in World War II to get the world to go to war. They used these same sort of games of intimidation and fear and provoking and getting sides fighting with each other. I know what Mars retrograde in Aquarius means. It means that our ego, Mars, needs to take certain associations in public less personally, that our ego needs to detach from our old associations of I'm white, I'm Christian, I'm this, I'm that. Those elements kind of need to be pulled back, and it makes total sense. We can't be fighting for any divisional sect of humanity if we want to truly bring humanity together. If we want to bring humanity together, we have to be on all sides. There can be no sides. We have to be on all sides, which means that we have to somehow get along with the ugly Alex Jones of the planet. We have to get along with the Donald Trumps. We have to get along with the Putins. We have no choice. This is the way Creator made it. And we can pretend that these people are less than us. I know a lot of people are hurt because other people said you're less than us. And I want to say, it's time that we don't allow these things to get to our heart. Step 0. We can't let these things get to our heart. We can't let these things get in. I'll be honest with you. The only one that can break my heart is someone I already love and I already trust. If I love and trust someone, they can break my heart because they can say things that get straight in. I have no boundaries up. I take it all the way to the heart. But what I read in the newspaper, what I see on Facebook, what people say, you're not getting access to my heart. I'm not letting what you say hurt my joyful day. Why would I do that? Why would I deliberately let it ruin my parade? And I get strong. Now, I'll tell you, I learned this lesson the hard way. When I first went on the internet, man, people say, Chris, you haven't been singled out. Oh, bullshit, man. I was the first astrologer on YouTube, the second, really. And oh my God, the hate. Whenever YouTube would sponsor me on the homepage, so much hate, so much anger, so much stuff. Totally broke my heart. I took it really personally for a while until I came to this whole realization of I'm not letting somebody's opinion of me get me down. You know what I mean? I'm not here really for the people. I'm sharing with you my gift. If you don't like it, fine. But my heart is happy for my reasons. It's not hanging on what Donald Trump says. It's not hanging on these things. And you know what? I'm free. When we say our happiness determines on this person saying sorry, and our happiness determines on this, and our happiness determines on that, you're giving your power away. You're saying your happiness and your power is based on this asshole apologizing, or your happiness and your power is based on this idiot who can't string a sentence together. And that is where you give away your power right there. And then you ask, well, how do I end up in these relationships where I don't have any power? Because you practice on a regular basis, giving your heart's power away to other people, making your heart determined by other people. I say, no, we put a step 0 wall there. And I say we need to do this because human beings are going to come into some crazy conflicts. And there's going to be a lot of, I think, political, mass media, all sorts of interests trying to stoke our fire. And the way we keep ourselves from being manipulated and finding ourselves in, I'm not going to say concentration camps. Okay, I said it, but I'm not going to say it. But the way we keep ourselves from going down that Nazi World War II, horrible, despicable line of humanity is we don't let it get to us and we hear everybody out. You have so much more power when you are the listener and they're trying to convince you. And you have even more power when you're the listener, they're trying to convince you and you're not giving any reactions back to them. That makes the person fighting for power, they have to sell it now because you're not manipulating me. You're not getting me down some emotional track of response and freaking out. You're not putting me into fear. I'm sitting here listening to you. What's your plan for saving the world again? I'd like to know. And I'm not going to give you keys to my heart anymore. That's between me, God, and whoever I marry. So I think that the Mars retrograde is basically saying, let's withdraw from these old definitions of the way the world is. And that's the preparation of the age of Aquarius. The way the world is, the way white men, gotta tell you, white men have divided up the world according to race and according to color and according to 23 chromosomes in me, which just kind of disgusts me a little bit. Whole nother topic, just because people are being competitive on their genetic code. Sorry, your parents screwed without even talking to you. It wasn't your choice. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just interesting how we're having like, oh, I'm this much Anglo. Like, really? Like, but the point is this way of dividing the world is not the way the world will work the best. In fact, the truth is we can't divide the world anymore. We have to see it as one organism, Mother Earth and the people. And that means that we have to love ourselves so that if the world needs our love, we have it in storage and we haven't given it away and we haven't been heartbroken and we're not out of our power. We're in our power when the world calls us and needs us as light workers, I'm saying. So I think it's time to think about what we invest our heart in and rethink about that with Mercury retrograde. It's time to think about what our ego is attached to in the world and what worldview our ego is attached to, because I think the worldview you are taking now is the one you'll find yourself defending 1 year from now when the shift hits the fan. And that's when I think it will hit the fan in 2019. Now, I think that's the perfect introduction from my friend Julie Day. Shift hitting the fan. Please welcome Her Majesty, Julie Day. Hi, Julie.
Hi, everybody. Whoa, did you just serve up an Eclipse sandwich?
That was preach, huh?
I'm choking on it over here. I'm like standing up, I'm clapping.
I saw you in the corner, actually, in the monitor. It's just like, help me. I was just like, say it, brother. Praise.
And I'm like, give me the baton. Give me the baton.
I was so setting it up, though.
Oh,
hi, welcome. What are your thoughts? So what are your thoughts on that topic real quick? People taking things really personally in this world right now.
Well, I mean, what you just spoke to so well, Christopher, is the heavier side of what's going on right now in our world. And you spoke to it so beautifully. And actually, I want to give a recommendation, if I can, for people that want to go deeper into exactly what you were saying, which is, basically don't let what's going on right now divide us further, like really come to the table, come to the edge of consciousness and be one that is anchoring the oneness consciousness, and not in an airy-fairy way. You got to get grounded to anchor that shit. And, you're wearing gray right now instead of white. Like, this is time to get grounded, to bring your consciousness down into your human suit and really stand for oneness. And it is so masterful to be able to do that, to be able to sit across from all the hubbub that's going on and stay in your center and stay in your own peace and in your own power and stay in a space of love. I'm not saying you have to be in love with the other person, but like to not abandon your own sense of love within yourself, and then you can also hold that for others. So,
100%. Well said. Yeah, you have to hold it for yourself. You can't let anything or anyone get in the way of your love for yourself, period.
Well, and that's where I was going to go with it is, in order to do what you're inviting us all to do, which is so powerful, you must be vigilant about your inner work. You must be a ninja, a warrior, whatever you want to call it. You must be willing to stand on the very edge of consciousness and clear all the gunk in the karmic trunk, and to stay vigilant with dealing with your patterns of wounding, your patterns from childhood, your patterns from various boxes that society has had to place you in. You have to be so vigilant with that work. And that's, I know that this is what I was called to do in this incarnation, is really be a part of the mystery schools that are popping up all over the place now, and providing people the opportunity to go deep in that work and to remain vigilant with that. Vigilant.
It's Mercury retrograde. Actually, okay. Vigilant was the magic word of the day. I was kidding.
Vigilant?
I don't know what it was. I just moved to a sexual Freudian vigilant now. But it's okay.
That's an amazing word. I'm feeling very vigilant.
Vigilant and disciplined or anal retentive or hyper focused.
Yeah.
And
Well, okay.
it's the smallest moments that count more than anything. I'll just say in that whole vigilance.
Oh my God, so much so. Okay, so
Mhm.
the one thing that I was going to recommend to everybody, if you're in our Practical Mystics TV room already, great. If not, come and join us. It's totally free. It's here on Facebook. We have a practitioner, Ann Lee, who brought the house down the other night talking about this. And
Oh,
she brought in a lot of the racial divide that's happening right now, especially in spiritual circles. A lot of racial divisiveness that I can't even speak to it in the way that she did because it's not mine to speak to, really.
yeah.
But please go and watch her video if you're in that room and you haven't seen it already, or if you're new, come and watch it. Powerful, and she is so holding that oneness consciousness. So yeah, drop on over and watch her.
Yay. Praise.
And
And
then,
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was going to say, coming back to the oneness
Yeah.
real quickly, I want to share like one thing that I learned about oneness. First of all, on the outside looking in, oneness is like, oh, yeah, this is like, you think it's like a group therapy kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like there's kind of a conscious like to, oh yes, of course, oneness and recycle,
Right.
like, like people have that. But no, actually, once I started to open up to this, what this idea was, here's what I realized. In this isolationism, I isolated myself from friends. I isolate myself from people that want to support me. I isolate myself from sales. The thing is we've all been talked into this isolationism, and as a result, we're all barely making it. We're all barely surviving because we've been talked out of the tribe, which is what our actual organic model was.
Mm.
Is this tribe that helps out? And I want to say from a very selfish perspective, totally selfish here, that by surrendering to oneness, the support behind me has tripled.
Wow.
Right? I've gotten more from surrendering to the oneness from my selfish needs. And that's just from one person to say, hey, let me help you here. Let me move my hand there. For them, it was nothing, but it's the tribe model. So oneness has a very selfish gain when we think for everyone. Everyone wins.
So how would you define oneness? Because I think that you were speaking in this kind of at the beginning of that, like, there's the airy fairy version of oneness, but then there's this really embodied, empowered version of oneness that I think you're speaking of. So, like, what do you mean when you say that, or what's that experience like for you?
Well, it's always interesting. It's like when people say, that black person is just like you, that American Indian is just like you, that whole like, it's just you with different skin color and all that stuff, right? Like, and I think the hard part for people is understanding like, how are they me? They choose these different things, they be these different things. Why do I care about this person? And the way I kind of got over that and understood it myself was that person is me in another life, being a jackass.
Yeah.
I see everyone as me one time or another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how I see it. And in that sense, I'm like, oh, make it easy on me because I'm an idiot. Like my compassion comes out for that person because I remember when I was pig-headed and racist back in the 1500s. I remember when I thought I was everything. So it's like, and I think that's part of enlightenment is, you live so many lifetimes, you start to have so many spiritual experiences, you start to identify with so many different sects of people because you've lived all those stories one way or another. There's only so many human stories. So to me, oneness is choosing a leadership perspective, a self leadership perspective and a world leadership perspective that is based on win-win. That is based on everyone wins, that is based on everyone treated equally, that this is a part of me, and if I hurt this part of me, I'm hurting myself in the big galactic picture of things.
Yeah. Woo! That's a good one. Christopher Whitecki for president.
No. But I'll be but I'll be sitting to Mr. Trump or whoever the president is with their chart and popcorn. Like, if you need me, I'm here.
There you go.
Like, I'll totally. There's someone who knows astrology and world politics. Another question. So, another topic. So you want to bring something else up when I came in with back to the oneness. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I'll get to it later. I can barely remember what it is. I'm sure it'll come up later. But I was going to speak to kind of the you were speaking to one doorway to oneness that I won't say is other focused, but very beautifully looking at the other and seeing it as an aspect of you.
Yeah.
And one of the things as a Leo myself, that really helped
Yeah.
me.
What's oneness to you? That we're all in your house? It's all
Well,
one family with me as the mother. No, I'm kidding.
it really did come from loving myself so exquisitely as an individualized aspect of God. And
Yes.
and
That's a
and this
beautiful
has been
definition. That's a
a journey
beautiful
of a
definition.
lifetime for me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is this I am safe to love myself as an aspect of God. I am safe from an egoic, like, oh, I'm so in love with myself. Like bullshit, right? Like that's a whole different category. Like I'm safe to see myself as divinity, as freaking holiness. Like this body is holy ground. This personality has never been before and will never be again. This unique recipe has never been before and will never be again. And it's a unique recipe of the one, of the divine. And
Mm-hmm.
so, as I've done that work within myself, it's just natural for me to, and I mean, I still have my challenges, but it's natural for me to hold that space for others.
I
And
love that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I love it. Yeah, we had a little peanut butter and jelly oneness sandwich.
No, that's one. I love your definition. It reminds me of Conversations with God. One thing I took away from that book
Mm,
was it seemed to me in the whole book, God kept winking and saying, "You are me. I am you."
yeah.
And it brought me this new perspective. It's like, oh, maybe what reality is like God is doing a huge nitrous balloon. Okay. Have you ever done nitrous? And and for like 1 minute of his time, which is 20 billion years, he like or she projects herself into like as many variations
Yeah.
of herself as she can think of,
Yes.
and just like literally pigs out and tries everything.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I feel like ascension might be that you slowly start to realize that you're God, or the nitrous slowly starts to wear off. And it's just God with the balloon again.
What do I want to create next? Yeah.
So in that idea, and it's in your idea too, I'm like, oh, look what that person did with God, and look what
Yeah.
that person did with God, and oh, and I'm so glad I didn't do that with God.
Yeah.
And when I see something nasty, I'm like, whew, so glad I didn't make those choices. You go,
Yeah.
brother. And that's how I kind of feel about these people that raise stink and who are stinky. I'm like, whew, I don't want that job.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You try that variation.
And that is an aspect of love, is being able to draw the boundary where it's appropriate for you and say, I can love this person and see them
Right.
as the divine from 100 feet away. This person I can love and see as a divine aspect of God from 100 miles away.
Yeah.
That's where I can really hold that vision.
Because
Yeah.
they're annoying. Yeah. And that's the thing about space-time. I think the way we have to reorganize the world is by our hearts. And I think that's how God does it anyway. So it's like people who love the same things should be hanging out near each other. And people who love opposite things should be on opposite sides of the earth. Let's not even make you two get together. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't think sometimes it's expansive and amplifying?
I do, but I think that that's like a World Fair or a UN meeting. I mean, it doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to and I'm not about segregation. I think if you're evolved, you learn to get along with all sorts of different cultures.
Yeah.
But I also think that if you're not ready, you don't have to. But just don't hurt the others. It's okay, be insular and stay with your family and what's comfortable with you for now.
Yeah.
But let them be them too.
Yes.
It amazes me though. I don't understand. I am at the point where I don't understand, hurting another person or because I do see it as just from a spiritual perspective, not good. You know what I mean? Like, so this eclipse, let's switch gears to the eclipse, because that's what this is all about. We're having I think this is an amazing eclipse, just to kind of set some history here on it. Last year, we had 2 eclipses in Leo. One was at 0 degrees and one was at 28. So basically, last year, God was like, open to infinite possibilities, step 0. with your heart, and plan for a grand master manifestation of your heart. So we were kind of like stretched open last year.
Yeah.
This eclipse is at step 18, which is basically almost in the middle.
Yeah.
And step 18 is decide, commit, go. It's basically step 18 is ready, set, go. That's what step 18 is. So I think we're being given with this eclipse a complete green light on what our heart wants. And this is so clever and so manipulative of God. Okay?
With that nitrous balloon.
They'll never think of this. And doesn't your voice go all crazy too? No, that's helium. So no, actually, I think in nitrous it's like. Yeah, I think so. I think at least that's how it seems. That was when I was 19, by the way, folks. I haven't done it since. Just so you know, tried a whole bunch of stupid things. But I feel like this is manipulation from God, and I always joke on my shows. It's like God gives you free will, but He cheats all the time. Because it's true. Because there's a solar eclipse towards love, and we're just gonna shut off your ego, Mars at 0 degrees, shut off your fears, Black Lilith at 0 degrees Aquarius, shut off your control issues, Saturn retrograde, shut off you trying to be rambunctious, Uranus retrograde, right? Shut off your stupid mind, Mercury retrograde. Okay, now choose. Don't you find God funny? Yeah, free will. You're just like in a straight jacket. You're like, I guess I'll go for the apple over here.
That's so brilliant.
And God just like, yeah. It's so good.
For me, this image of God with a nitrous balloon.
I really think that's what it is. I honestly take me to the
only explanation that makes sense.
The only. Whether it be a big bang, it'd be so gases, so many gases in the world. So I think that's the overall big picture of it, and I think the eclipse is going to be extremely quiet because there's so much of us is asleep. And you know what I mean? Like I don't think there's going to be drama.
Yeah.
But I do think you're going to find profound little miracles kind of coming in, and this is one of those times where. It's like, be careful what you wish for. You've heard that?
Mm-hmm.
This is a time where you must be careful what you wish for, I would say.
Yeah, be vigilant with those thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Because the universe is wired to carry this out and manifest it and just move forward with whatever this is. And all the planets are kind of conspired that way. Yeah. I think bringing us to Jupiter and Sag when I think the story gets interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah. So where are you in the eclipse?
Well, yes, the eclipse has been a giant Napapalooza for me.
Napapalooza.
That's
yawn on, sister.
Hey, and I thought it was funny. I thought of this earlier. I actually wanted to poll everybody and to see like what level of sleepitude have you been at in the last eclipse period, because remember you texted me and you were like, I feel like I'm in marshmallow. What did you say?
I'm walking in marshmallows.
Right?
It's just like, oh my God, everything was just so much gravity.
Yeah, so I was just wanting people to just free ball it, free wing it. I think free ball was the wrong word to use. And say what level of sleepitude they've been at. The word, and this is what I was going to say earlier, so it's actually perfect here. The word that's really coming to me for this solar eclipse in Leo at 18 degrees is delight. And that might seem odd, given, how much is retrograde up there in the sky right now. However, I'm finding for myself that the real heart space is governed by that word delight. When you really align with your heart, there's a wave of delight. There's a sense of buoyance and levity that comes. And there's a freedom around it as well. And as I was hiking earlier this morning, thinking about our call today, and there was a lot of delight in my being over my just day-to-day life, just I delight in the trees. I delight in the feeling of earth underneath my feet. I delight in the sweat coming out of my body. And if part of our call as light workers, as those edge walkers of consciousness, is to really remain in the heart, then we must be living our life in a way that brings us that delight, whatever that is. And
Yes.
it delights you to have a hot car, then have a hot car. If it delights your being to garden or to cook or to take care of your children or to write stories, if it delights your being to rub your partner's feet, if it delights your being to take a nap, like to go in that direction which delights. And I think that the more we, and it is like that amplification, it's an expansion. The more we get in that zone, the more we can serve and give to the world around us, the more we can teach others that path as well. I mean, it seems so contrary with what's going on in the world right now, but to me, it's the way, it's the path of the heart. And I think too many people think that being of service is something that's so constrictive that they must shun everything which delights them. They must set it aside. They must deal with that later. And that's what creates dis-ease. That's what creates, yourself going offline for several months and having to take care of yourself. So, yeah, prioritize your being's delight. That's what I have to say. What do you think about that, Christopher?
I think it's brilliant. I completely concur. And what comes to mind actually is a naysay that I get a lot that I'm going to throw at you just as a fellow light worker to see how you handle this one.
Okay.
You want me to live in delight when my job has me working so hard and my husband isn't listening to me and my kids, how am I supposed to live in delight when my life is horrible? I get that a lot, by the way, and no offense anyone said that to me, but that's what you look like.
Well, I've been there before myself. Been there, done that. I had a relationship with a good person, but that was a struggle and a challenge and a constant slog. I had a career that was supposed to be something that induced happiness, and I was miserable. And so I've been there. I know what that's like, and that's why I'm speaking of follow your delight. It's the way when you follow the higher vibration, what you're doing is you're feeding that higher vibration. And as we know, where attention goes, energy flows. So if you're feeding the lower level with energy, that is going to grow. If you're feeding higher levels like delight, happiness, joy, you are going to experience more of that around you. So the way to a life of delight is to choose the little micro delights. And you can be in a shitty relationship and enjoy fuzzy socks that make you feel so good around your house, or preparing a meal just for yourself. You can, you got a job that's sufferable. Well, you can delight in making little handmade cards for your coworkers on their birthdays. I mean, there is delight everywhere. And if you don't think that there's delight in your present moment, start looking. It's there. I promise you.
It is there, and brilliantly said. And I can't agree more. To me, it's like if I was a prisoner in a cell, I'd probably be delighted by having a paper clip. I'd be like, oh my God, I can bend it. I can twist it around. I remember when I was in church with my grandparents, they make us go to church. I'd be delighted to have like a marble in my hand. I was just like, and in that context, it was just the world. You know what I mean? Like, and I completely agree. And here's the thing I will say to add to that is when you're stuck in a hole, a dark hole, you tend to be like, from this perspective of I want out of the hole, I want out of the hole. And your mind is like so focused on getting out of the hole. And it's like when you're in that type of hole, you just need a paper clip. Mm-hmm. And then you just need a flower. And then you have to kind of build it. And as you grab the little delight,
yes,
God replicates it.
Yes.
There's always a replication of the delight somewhere, and it'll replicate like in a butterfly.
Yes.
And then it'll like replicate in like a hummingbird will come close to you. Like, holy shit.
Yes.
And then after the hummingbird, like, oh my God, that cloud looks like God. So you just start seeing more and more delight as you say yes, because this is a law of attraction. What you be is what comes. What you vibrate is what you bring. And if you are in that hole, one piece of delight, I agree, will begin to take you out of it.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the Leo teaching, is that self
True.
focus is not a crappy thing, and if we are all individualized expressions of God, of universe, of the one, whatever you choose to call it, then it starts with loving you. It starts with treating the animal of your body with care and respect, with treating your personality, your humanness with care and respect, with allowing yourself to experience joy and happiness. Joy and happiness is there. You got to allow yourself to experience it. So I think that that's a great act of love, and if we're going to label that selfish, so be it. I think there's a better word for it. I just don't know what it is in this moment. Maybe you know what it is.
It's selfishness. It's God being selfish on that balloon. Like, whatever delights you in whatever direction, carried out to the nth degree. I feel like that's what we came here to do, is to experience in the flesh what delights us.
Yes.
Literally, to try it out in the flesh. It was only concept and idea and consciousness, and now it's real.
And I think that the ultimate delight on a soul level is coming down here and expressing this unique recipe of the divine, because you only got one shot at it of this human suit, so like there is great delight in letting yourself be who you are and express yourself authentically and fully. My goodness, I can't think of a greater delight than that.
I think that's the delight that's behind everything anyways. I think when a person is conniving, or a person is ambitious, or a person is competitive, it's because they're trying to delight themselves.
Yes.
They are. They're after their own self-delight. Even the evil ones are like, ha, 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 ha. Taking delight in it, which is, evil, but they are. You know what I mean? And some people like to play the bad guy, so it's all good. I played the bad guy once. I don't like that role. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things.
Played the bad guy.
I don't think I played the bad guy to others. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like the whole win-lose kind of sort of situation.
Yeah.
So to speak. So I think this eclipse is all about, you've said it really well, Julie. It's about focusing in on the delight. And because it's 18, it's a decide and commit. That's what I want to tell everyone.
Yeah. Talk more about that. Like, how do you suggest we go about that in this window?
In fact, my guides were telling me this on the way here, that I hadn't actually practiced anything I preached, and that I hadn't actually, here I'm reporting on one of the biggest solar eclipses of the century, and I haven't done the steps for my own shit. Yeah, but I'm going to. But I'm in step 18 Taurus.
Oh, shebang.
So this solar eclipse squares my sun, which is totally cool because that's how I'm built. Uh-huh. My Taurus has a business plan. My Leo wants to play, and the two are like, like they like budge each other, like career play, kind of thing. But 18 is decide and commit. Like this is the and that's how I see the conscious steps. Consciousness builds up as we are trying to express ourselves in a unique way. And step 18 is the step where very important. And I used to question commitment. All sorts of, like there's all sorts of philosophies. Stay committed, work it out. No, be flexible, commit to yourself in the moment. Right, type of thing. But what I've realized is if you want to manifest something, you have to commit. Because what you're doing basically is laying out the runway in the consciousness. You're saying, when you commit, you say, create this runway, create this experience.
Yes.
And a lot of people are like, well, I'd like it if it happened. Well, I guess it'd be okay. It's like, no, commit, damn it. Like, hell or high water. Yeah. I'm gonna. I think a lot of people are also afraid of like, what if I commit to the wrong thing? Then you uncommit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, then you uncommit. It's like, oh, this isn't fun. How many of us have committed to stuff and you get halfway in the date or whatever and you're like, such not a good idea. Like, kind of thing. And it's like, you uncommit. You stay committed to your heart, but you do want to make the commitment. You do want to say to the universe, I'm going to do this, because there's something about it. And then you put it into motion. That's the other thing. Yes. So One thing about this eclipse is you have to put it into motion. You got to mail the envelope. You got to sign the contract. You got to tell your wife that you're thinking about hand gliding now. You got to create the first wave, the cause wave. And I think what's going to happen is this cause wave is going to keep reverberating until the next eclipse, which is January 2019. So
okay, everybody.
So you can ride the wave.
Go.
Let's do it. And of course, it's like, okay, I need a nap.
Second nap of the day.
Let's do it after a nap. That's the other thing with the Mars retrograde. Oh, you know what? The other thing too is Venus is at step 4 Libra. And I just want to say, step 4 Libra is kind of a crazy Libra. If you know any step 4 Libras, they're fun. Every step 4 Libra is like, oh, at home, even the men. But step 4 means kind of like it's the law of attraction. It's Aquarius, so it's like at this moment we are opening up to an Aquarius of where our relationships ought to be.
Oh, that's cool.
Right, it is kind of cool, which probably means that there'll be a lot of relationship change after this eclipse because. And a lot of things falling out, a lot of people breaking out, a lot of stuff coming out, not in a negative way. It's all because people are opening up to what their heart really wants. They're opening up to the relationships they belong in. That relationship is with another person, with a job, with a pet, with yourself. I mean, Libra is how you relate to everything and where you're coming from in that relationship. I'm coming from that I deserve it. I'm not coming from I'm the victim, or I'm not coming from I'm abused. I'm coming from I deserve it and I deserve something that's equal to me type of thing. So there's this big relationship, I think, smoothing out that happens too with this eclipse. So be mindful of what you deserve and what's fair is the last thing I want to say.
Yeah, and I was just looking at a conversation on Marco did this video the other night in our PMTV room, and someone commented, and I won't out this person's name, but someone was commenting about a relationship decision and saying, how do I know how to follow my heart? Because this is a good, solid relationship, and there's lots of benefits, and he doesn't fulfill my deepest desires and needs, but it's a really solid relationship. So how do I know what how do I follow my heart? And Marco's response was really beautiful. Marco's my partner, everybody. Holla! He was like, I think your heart is very clear on what it wants. It's actually your mind, your beliefs that you have about relationships, your belief about your role in relationship and what you deserve in relationships. So, and I think that's such good wisdom during this time. If people are questioning what is my heart saying, or wait, what should I commit to? What should I act upon? You can even, this is such a simple exercise, everybody. Just simply place your hand over your heart and say, heart, what do you want? Heart, which one feels better to you? And your heart will answer you. And then you look for the yeah, but. And whatever comes after the yeah, but is ego, mind, beliefs, woundings, patterns that are limiting. So you listen to your heart, and then you don't listen to everything that comes after yeah, but.
Or as I teach work, which complements you, is the yes and, the opposite of and but. And I teach the exact same thing, Julie. It's like if you're married and your heart wants to have 4 girls in your bed, your answer is, yes, honey, you can have that. Now, I have no idea how I'm going to pull it off. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea how to make it happen. And the truth is once you start saying yes to your heart, like, yes, you can have that, no matter how absurd it is, this begins a conversation with your heart. And your heart, once it starts to hear that you're listening, actually starts to say, I don't need 4 girls. I just want my wife to wear, this pig costume or whatever. Like sheep costume. I'm the pig. I'm getting confused. I'm the pig. She's the sheep. Sorry.
You have Aquarius somewhere in your chart, Christopher.
Jupiter, honey. I do. Don't you?
Aquarius relationship.
We have Jupiter and Aquarius too, girl.
I know. I have my own costumes at home.
Jupiter Aquarius is pretty much like I was a total fuddy-duddy for lifetimes. And this is like the lifetime where anything freaky is automatically greenlit. Like, okay.
Oh, that's so funny. It's fourth house though, so it's like family and home. It's like it's not the exciting freaky stuff.
Mine's in the 7th, so I tend to, I'm not even gonna say date, but I just, my taste in romance is like, you can never see like, what? And then you dated and then what? And I'm sure it's because every lifetime I'm like, oh, I'd love to date a person like that. Like these are all these wishes that I was holding on to. I was being a good husband.
Yeah. You get a poo-poo platter. You're sampling all sorts of things.
I'm like, so much I want to try.
Good for you.
Jupiter Aquarius, exactly.
It's my Jupiter. Nitrous balloon.
Said God. Yeah. Right, exactly. So much I want to try. So let's see. Is there anything else I want to say? You Practical Mystics, tell us how to find you, Julie. Tell us what you guys have going on right now. You dropped one of your practitioners' names. What's going on in the Mystics team?
Yeah. Guys, we just have great content, weekly, conscious content that's dealing with the energies of the moment. So we just had a great video. Marco did a great video on, oh gosh, and I'm blanking right now on what it is. It's my big moment.
Mercury retrograde.
On basically, I think how to be with times when you don't feel like taking action. And then Ann Lee's video was phenomenal. And then I have a fun class, guys, at the end of August, and we're starting sign up like tomorrow. It's the self-love scavenger hunt.
Self-love scavenger hunt. I love it.
Yeah, it's going to be 7 days, and it's going to be 7 ways to really drop into deeper love for yourself. It's always a ton of fun. I've done this several times before, and there's an actual prize. There's 2 prizes that are going to be given away at the end of it. So, so stay in touch, message me, and I'll give you the promo code to get a little special discount. So message me if you're interested, and I'll give you the deets.
Yay! And trading with Julie is fun. She's this much fun across the board, just so you guys know. She always is. Well, my soul sister, I love you so much. I'm grateful for this.
I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Did you have any parting words for the peeps? Any
parting words? Well, you mean for you or for the peeps? Because I'm gonna say goodbye to you, and then I was gonna say goodbye to them.
Oh, I see. Yes. Excuse me. Let me give Christopher the platform all to himself.
Oh no, I had parting words. I just didn't want to drag you through it, to be honest. As far as wisdom, my parting words were what I had said earlier, which is that it's not enough to wish. You have to decide and commit.
Okay, I love that.
You have to decide and commit. Yeah.
Put that in, and I'm going to commit later today. Okay, bye everyone.
And I'll check in with you in a month to see what manifested.
Fun. Okay, bye.
Yes. Bye, Julie. Julie's a blast, as you well know, and thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate that as well. Well, I'm excited. I'm going to be seeing my son soon here and doing a little traveling, but I will be on the air. I want to give a couple of heads up of stuff coming up in September. On September 9th, we're going to do our final Love Fest of the season here in Denver. We're going to focus again on hemp and what we can do with industrial hemp and what the opportunities are. It's a great group of people. It's a great vibration. And what we're doing is really holding a footprint for unity and oneness. So I'll be putting out some details, but if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, it's September 9th. That's Sunday, September 9th. I want to make sure that's a Sunday. I'm going to make sure right now on my phone. It is. The other thing I want to let people know is don't have all the details yet, but it looks like I will be in Portland, Oregon for a 2-day spiritual summit on the 22nd and 23rd. So all of my Portland or Oregon fans, I would love to see you. I can't wait to be in the high vibration of all that wilderness. Oh my God, I'm excited for it. And to kind of feel out the people. So this will be a 2-day kind of spiritual seminar preparing you for the shift coming ahead. And if you are a serious joiner and you're a subscriber to my service and you come to either Love Fest or come to Portland, Oregon, I will have a special gift for you. I'm now giving away little special gifts to my joiners. So it's worth joining. And that's my last topic too. You don't have to be alone in this solar eclipse. We have a wonderful, amazing community at Serious Joy TV. It's not just me. It is a group of people all there for one another. And every day I'm asking provocative questions, provocative in the sense of your growth, getting you to think about what's important day by day. So if you want to stay on a steady track of enlightenment, give it a try at seriousjoy.com. All right, friends. So nice to be live. Thank you to everyone who has shown up. I'm sending my love and blessings. Have a powerful solar eclipse. I'll be back live in 1 month and on the air this weekend. I love you, and to live, love, be.